Hey, this is Malika of Evanston Live TV. Just wanted to give you all an update. Normally I would wait till the morning, but tonight got very eventful. Um, I wasn't able to make it over to the city. I wasn't feeling very well, but I did watch it online, the hearing, the EVI hearing. I watched it on Facebook on Dan Coyne's video, and the night was I don't even know how to describe tonight, like what happened tonight. Um, but I definitely want you all to go to the EVI page, uh, get familiar with EVI and what's going on, because trust me, that situation is not over. I think it's about to get ugly here in the city. We've had some ugly situations, but I think this one is about to get very hot and ugly. Because it did not go very well tonight, not at all. Okay, for those of you who are not familiar with the EVI petition, please go to Facebook, look them up, the Evanston Voter Initiative. It's led by Allie Harnett. She has been a soldier to get those petitions. She put a team together. She was introduced to former Governor Pat Quinn. Pat Quinn, I mean, I saw him out there in the summertime working with Allie and the team, and I mean, they got more signatures than they actually needed. And if you're not familiar with the EVI petition, it's about democracy. It's about giving more decision-making power back to the people, so that it's not all on the city council. So if certain issues come up, then residents would have that option to go out and get signatures and vote on another decision that maybe the council might not be in favor of. So it kind of puts some more power back to the people. But read up more on it. Go to Facebook. Again, that's the Evanston Voter Initiative. So you would think, wow, that sounds like democracy. Why would anybody go against it? So I will tell you, I do my best to be fair. EVI petition sounds great. Sounds like democracy, right? So then I was like, well, I'm open to hearing what the objection is. So tonight was the hearing because three objectors came forward to fight the EVI petition. I only heard of one, and that was former alderman of the 7th Ward, Jane Grover. The reason I don't know the other two, their names, was because they didn't open their mouth. Did not hear a word. Barely heard anything from Jane Grover. So I didn't really even hear a good solid objection to the EVI. And I think there's many people out there that were watching it that would agree with me, because all I really heard from the objectors, the Jane Grover side, was, oh, well, the wording is just very confusing and there's too many compound sentences. And I'm like, is that really that's not really a strong, it didn't capture me. It didn't sway me over to the objector side at all. I didn't even understand the objection. I was like, compound sentences. So is that a reason to vote against something? Well, just ask him to reword it. I mean, like, like how hard is that? So we barely really even heard from Jane Grover. She kind of sat kind of quiet, like, it's being taken care of, And there was a reason why we barely heard from the objectors, because the board, which consists of City Clerk Devon Reed, 8th Ward Alderman Ann Rainey, and our Mayor Steve Haggerty, a board attorney was appointed to them. I don't know if it was appointed or if he's hired. There's some questions to that about this attorney. If the taxpayers are paying for him, like what, was this an outside hire? Not really sure. Got to get some clarity on that. So they're up there as a board, and it was the burden was on Jane Grover and her to her crew on that side to present a strong case as to why this EVI petition shouldn't make the ballot, when it comes time to vote. And pretty much the attorney, what it looked like to everybody was that he just was there to attack former Governor Pat Quinn, who was representing EVI, the Evanston Voter Initiative. Everyone who knows Pat Quinn, world-class attorney, the man knows his stuff. He came very prepared. He came with a box load of cases. He was stating law. He knows that law inside out. He was reciting things. It was very solid. Him and Allie sat together. The case was solid. The objectors, the Jane Grover side, they weren't very prepared. It was very obvious they weren't prepared. But the EVI side, they came strong and they were ready. The attorney pretty much just attacked Pat Quinn, and it just became very clear that the attorney was there representing the Jane Grover, the objector side, and not the actual board. So it was really the board, the attorney, and the objectors against EVI. And that's not how it was supposed to go. Not at all. It just didn't look good. It didn't look good. And of course the attorney and the board, they're saying, well, no, the attorney was there for them. But if you go back and watch the video, you decide for yourself. Many people felt like that attorney was there to represent Jane Grover because their case, their side was not strong at all. Not strong. Like, people really didn't even understand the objection to EVI. So, decision, it was time to, vote. City Clerk Devon Reed voted in favor of EVI. He felt their case, they stated their case, it was strong. They had proof, they had cases, they stated law. And he felt, he gave respect to Jane Grover and the other two, but he felt like they didn't have enough in their objection to, to really go against EVI. So Devon Reed voted in favor of EVI. Rainey and Haggerty voted against them. It's time to end the meeting, and Haggerty told the attorney to pass out the paperwork stating that, the vote was against EVI. Pat Quinn said, wait, hold up. How do you have this paperwork already written up before the meeting's even over? You had this paperwork written up before the decision was even made. So Pat Quinn said, you made this decision before we even got here. It's evident. The burden of proof was on Jane Grover and her crew, the objectors on that side, which they barely even spoke. And the whole time, the attorney was attacking Pat Quinn. And like I said, it wasn't supposed to go that way. We should have been hearing more from the objectors more than anybody in their room. So Pat Quinn, he called it out as he saw it. He said, you decided this before we got here. Why would you have that paperwork drawn up? Haggerty and the attorney explained, well, we had the paperwork drawn up either way because it's time sensitive. We had to get the decision out, so we wanted to make sure that the paperwork was ready to be passed out right away. So we drew up paperwork in favor of EVI, and we also drew up paperwork against EVI. So Pat Quinn said, okay, well, I want to see all the documents. Show me both. Haggerty and the attorney said, no, it's attorney-client privilege. Pat Quinn said, well, who's the client? You're a public body. The public is paying for that attorney. We have the right to see those documents right now. Haggerty and the attorney and Rainey were like, no, they weren't turning over. Devon Reed was like, I don't have a problem turning over any of the documents that are right here. He didn't have a problem with it at all. And Rainey was like, well, hold up. There's some strong accusations being made. Maybe we should just talk about this in the morning. Pat Quinn was like, no, this is not right. You're doing a disservice to the residents, to the citizens of Evanston. They're paying for that attorney. This is a public body. Those documents need to be turned over right now. Haggerty, Rainey, and the attorney, they refused to turn those documents over. Actually, Devon he voted to turn over the documents. Haggerty voted against it, and Rainey sat for a minute. You know, she was like, well, I don't know what's going on. You know, she wasn't sure what was going on. She was concerned with accusations that they were doing something, you know, unlawful and against the people. But eventually she voted to not turn over the paperwork. So next thing I know, the meeting was adjourned very quickly and cameras went off. So as far as I know, those documents did not get turned over tonight. And it doesn't make much sense to see the documents, you know, tomorrow or in a couple days or next week because, you know, they could clearly be drawn up. You know, it was best to prove, you know, that both sides were drawn up tonight. But we didn't get to see that. So, I get the feeling this isn't the last of this situation. I think Governor Pat Quinn is about to take this to a whole nother level. So, you know, I was really excited over reparations, that the council voted for the reparations movement. And I was thinking, oh, things are like really, you know, looking great in Evanston. I love Evanston, you know. But, you know, because we were getting such bad press with, you know, all the other decisions that had been made. So, you know, I felt like people were starting to feel a little hopeful and good. And then tonight happens, and I think it's about to get a little ugly. I don't know, but you all stay tuned. We'll see what's next for EVI, what Governor Pat Quinn plans to do about what happened tonight. It was not a pretty scene, and we'll see. We'll see. You all stay tuned, and again, go check out the EVI page, and you can check out the video of what happened tonight, I believe on Dan Coyne's page. The city will put it on YouTube. Sometimes they, you know, put it out, you know, a few days later. So I don't know if they were recording it tonight, though. But I know Dan Coyne was recording it. So you can go check it out on his page. And if you want to read up more on the Evanston Voter Initiative, go to their page on Facebook. All right, you guys have a great night. I'm going to go get me some tea and lemon and calm myself and just hope and pray everything works out. And it'd be great to be in a world where everybody's just happy. Everybody's just happy. All right. This is Evanston Live TV.